In the heart of Lagos, Nigeria, amidst the bustling streets and vibrant markets, there lived a girl named Tiaraoluwa. From a young age, Tiaraoluwa's imagination knew no bounds. She was a dreamer with a spirit as free as the wind. With eyes that sparkled like the stars above, Tiaraoluwa would spend hours lost in the pages of her favorite books, transported to far-off lands and magical realms. She divulged stories of heroes and heroines, adventurers and explorers, each tale igniting a fire within her soul. But amidst the wonder of her imagination, Tiaraoluwa also harbored a quiet fear. Despite her boundless curiosity and insatiable thirst for knowledge, she couldn't shake the nagging sense of doubt that lingered in the shadows of her mind. Raised in an average and modest home by hardworking parents who had migrated from the rural countryside in search of a better life, Tiaraoluwa felt the weight of their expectations pressing down on her slender shoulders. They had sacrificed everything to give their children a chance at a brighter future. And Tiaraoluwa was determined not to disappoint them. Graduating with good grades in the university and after her youth service year, Tiaraoluwa got an opportunity to apply for a job at one of the top tech companies in Lagos. With doubts in her mind, she took the test and went for the interviews, the whole time believing that they can never call her, that there are other better candidates than she will ever be. But eventually, she got a mail congratulating her on her new entry-level job. Tiaraoluwa started as an entry-level staff with some other people. As time went on, it felt like she kept getting confused the more. She couldn't fully grasp the job like her other entry-level candidates were obviously doing. She was lost most times when they are discussing some complex or even basic concepts. She avoided having interactions with her bosses just in case they asked her a question that she might not be able to answer. The feeling that she's not good enough always crept in, and every day, coming to work, she always feels they will tell her to go back, that she wasn't needed anymore. Every time she hears that companies are downsizing, fear always grips her heart that if her company wants to downsize too, she might be among the least that will go. It was that bad. To make matters worse, her direct boss, Mr. Additional, was a very difficult man and very hard to please. He always needed fast, clean, and perfect work. He didn't have time for people who didn't know what they were doing and expects that for one to be working in the prestigious Silicon Valley, you should be overly smart. He had a lot of issues with Tiaraoluwa's work and scolds her on every slightest occasion. Take this nonsense out of my sight. This work is way below standard. How did you even get to this place? You think it's about having a beautiful face and dressing cute? Get your acts together or you'll be out of here faster than you came. Even a baby developer knows this stuff. Leave my office. Tiaraoluwa left and shed tears like a baby. She was confused as to what to do or how to fix her code. She felt that all she could actually offer was her beautiful face and a great fashion sense. She even considered quitting and joining the fashion industry. She was a creative and had a really creative mind, but right from time, she had always wanted to work in an office space and do great stuff. Then Oma met her crying in the restroom. Oma was a senior developer there at the Silicon Valley, and she was very good at her job. She also had gotten to the management level faster than anyone in her level had. Tiaraoluwa had always looked up to her. Tiaraoluwa told Oma everything, and Oma offered to help her out. She began teaching her everything she needs to know about software development and how to write clean and fast code. And she gave her courses to use at her own leisure online. She started taking courses and building herself better on the job. She then noticed that she started to get better by the day, though not as good as most of her colleagues, she thought. Few months later, Tiaraoluwa stared at the blank documents on her computer screen, her mind spinning with doubts and insecurities. She was supposed to be crafting a proposal for a new project at her company, but instead, she found herself paralyzed by the familiar grip of imposter syndrome. As she sat in a sleek modern office corner, surrounded by polished glass and steel, Tiaraoluwa couldn't shake the feeling that she didn't belong. Despite doing better in the past few months, despite her impressive resume and glowing performance reviews by her bosses, she constantly feared that one day her colleagues would discover the truth. She was a fraud, a pretender who had somehow managed to slip through the cracks. Though she started as an entry-level employee, her talent and dedication quickly caught the eyes of her supervisors. Before long, she was offered a full-time position in her company. At first, Tiaraoluwa was thrilled by the prospect of starting a new chapter in her life. She was excited to immerse herself in the vibrant tech scene of her new role and eager to prove herself to everyone. But as she settled into a new role, doubts began to creep in. Every day, Tiaraoluwa found herself surrounded by brilliant minds and cutting-edge innovation. Her co-workers seemed to effortlessly grasp complex concepts and churn out flawless code, while she struggled to keep up. She still never spoke during meetings, and most times when she's asked a question, she goes blank. No matter how hard she worked or many late nights she spent poring over her projects, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was still falling behind. As weeks turned into months, Tiaraoluwa's imposter syndrome only intensified. She became consumed by self-doubts, convinced that any moment now someone will expose her as a fraud. She began to withdraw from her colleagues, avoiding meetings and social gatherings where questions can be asked. But despite her fears, Tiaraoluwa's talent and creativity never wavered. In the quiet moments when she allowed herself to believe in her abilities, she produced some of her best work. Her designs were innovative and elegant, her code clean and efficient, and yet she couldn't shake the feeling that it was all just a fluke, that she was just merely pretending to be something that she wasn't. One day, as Tiaraoluwa sat alone in her desk, staring at the blinking cursor on her screen, she received an unexpected email. It was from her boss, asking her to join him for a meeting in his office. Panic seized her heart as she read the message. Her mind racing with the worst-case scenarios. Trembling, Tiaraoluwa made her way to her boss's office, her stomach turning with anxiety. She knocked hesitantly on the door, her palms sleek with sweat. To her surprise, her boss greeted her with a warm smile and invited her to take a seat. As they settled in to discuss the latest projects and in what he wanted her to do, Tiaraoluwa's boss began to sing her praises, praising her creativity, dedication, and innovative thinking. He expressed his confidence in her abilities and his excitement to see where her talents would take her in the nearest future. Tears welled up in Tiaraoluwa's eyes as she listened. She was overwhelmed by a flood of emotion. In that moment, something inside Tiaraoluwa shifted. For the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, she deserved to be where she was. She realized that her imposter syndrome had been holding her back, keeping her from fully embracing her own potential. From that day forward, Tiaraoluwa approached her work with a newfound sense of confidence and self-assurance. She no longer allowed her fears to dictate her actions, instead choosing to trust in her own abilities and embrace the opportunities that came her way. As time went on, Tiaraoluwa's star continued to rise within the company. She took on increasingly challenging projects, pushing herself to new heights of creativity and innovation. And although she still faced moments of self-doubt from time to time, but she no longer allowed them to define her. Tiaraoluwa had finally learned to see herself for who she truly was, a talented, capable woman with a bright future ahead of her. And as she looked back on her journey, she knew that the greatest obstacle she had ever faced wasn't the doubters or the naysayers. It was the voice of doubt within herself. But now, she was ready to silence that voice once and for all and step boldly into the future that awaited her. I hope you enjoyed this story. I just want to let you know that no one can actually stop you except you. We are capable of doing much more than we think we can. Imposter syndrome has made some people unable to achieve their true potential just because they feel that they are not good enough, or always have the feeling that something is about to jinx the good things happening in their life. Even the Bible says that, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you think on something too long, even the universe brings it your way. So think on good things, think on pure things, think on beautiful things, only because you deserve every good thing coming your way and more. Thank you so much for watching. Please support us by liking, drop a comment if you have ever experienced imposter syndrome, and let us know your experience. And please subscribe to our channel. See you in my next video. Bye.